Have you ever considered how a single idea can shape the course of history? Let's embark on a journey back to the year 1848, to the inception of a powerful ideology, communism. Born from the intellectual union of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, it made its debut in the Communist Manifesto, a revolutionary work that would echo through the ages. The manifesto proposed radical concepts, which included the eradication of class distinctions and private property. It envisioned a society where wealth and resources are shared equally, and where no individual is superior to another. It was a call to arms, a rallying cry, a beacon for those who yearned for equality in an unequal world. The manifesto was not just a document, it was a declaration of a new world order. Thus, sown were the seeds of an ideology that would soon grip the world. From an idea to a revolution, how did communism find its ground? A question that takes us back to the tumultuous times of the early 20th century. The stage was set with the Russian Revolution of 1917, an event that shifted the axis of global politics. The revolution was a reaction to the oppressive Tsarist regime, a call for a society where wealth and power were evenly distributed among the masses. It was a time of immense social and political upheaval, culminating in the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II and the rise of the Bolsheviks. Among the leaders of this historic revolution was a man named Vladimir Lenin. A charismatic and articulate visionary, Lenin was instrumental in establishing the world's first socialist state, igniting the flame of communism that would soon spread across the globe. Under his leadership, the Bolsheviks seized control of the government, resulting in the birth of the Soviet Union. Following Lenin's death, another figure emerged from the shadows to take the reins of power, Joseph Stalin. A man notorious for his iron-fisted rule and unyielding determination, Stalin further entrenched the communist ideology within the Soviet Union, transforming it into a global superpower. As the world was licking its wounds post-World War II, a new battle line was drawn. The spread of communism became a dominant narrative, particularly in Eastern Europe. Countries like Poland, Hungary, and East Germany, devastated by the war, found themselves drawn to the promise of equality and prosperity offered by communism. The Soviet Union expanded its influence, consolidating its power and marking the beginning of the Cold War era. The ideological battle between the East and the West was at its peak. The world was divided into two camps, the capitalist West, led by the United States, and the communist East, led by the Soviet Union. As the tensions mounted, the Red Star, a symbol of communism, shone brightly against the backdrop of a divided world. The Red Star had risen, casting a long shadow over much of the world. This was the era of the Red Star, the symbol of a revolution that had transformed from an idea into a global phenomenon. The rise of the Red Star had begun, and its impact would be felt for decades to come. In the aftermath of World War II, a new world order was emerging. The seeds of communism, once confined largely to Europe, began to spread their roots further afield, reaching the vast landscapes of Asia. One of the first nations to feel the tug of this ideological shift was China, under the leadership of Mao Zedong. The promise of equality and the allure of a classless society proved too enticing for the peasant masses, who had long been marginalized under feudalism. Mao's Great Leap Forward was not just a plan for economic and social reform, it was a leap towards a new political order, one that was painted in shades of red. But the spread of communism didn't stop there. Like dominoes lined up in a row, the ideology began to knock on the doors of other Asian nations. North Korea, under the leadership of Kim Il-sung, was next to embrace this new political order. The promise of a workers' paradise, free from the shackles of imperialism, resonated with the war-torn nation, leading to the establishment of a communist state. Then came Vietnam. The French colonial rule had left the Vietnamese yearning for freedom and independence. The communists, led by Ho Chi Minh, seized this opportunity. They promised a society free from foreign rule and class struggle, a message that resonated deeply with the war-weary people, leading to the birth of another communist state. This rapid spread of communism throughout Asia was perceived by the West as a domino effect. The concept was simple: if one country fell to communism, its neighbors could easily follow suit, like a chain of dominoes toppling one after the other. This fear fueled the Cold War and led to significant foreign intervention in these newly communist countries. The fears of the West were not unfounded, as the dominoes did indeed seem to fall one after the other. This domino effect not only shaped the geopolitical landscape of the 20th century, but continues to influence global politics even today. As with all things, change is the only constant. The giant wheels of communism began to grind to a halt in the late 20th century, starting with the economic turmoil in the Soviet Union. The country that once was a beacon of the communist ideal had its foundations shaken by economic instability. Bread lines grew longer, the ruble's value plummeted, and the people's faith in the system began to wane. This was not an isolated incident. The tremors of change could be felt throughout the Eastern Bloc. The most tangible symbol of this ideological divide, the Berlin Wall, came tumbling down. Erected to prevent the exodus of people from East to West Berlin, its fall in 1989 was a symbol of the crumbling of the communist stronghold in Europe. As the 90s dawned, the unthinkable happened. The mighty Soviet Union dissolved, splintering into 15 separate nations. The Red Star was extinguished, and the world watched as the curtain fell on the grand socialist experiment. Today, the nations that once proudly waved the red banner of communism are navigating their unique paths in the post-communist world. Some have embraced capitalism, others have adopted a hybrid model, and a few still cling to the vestiges of their communist past. Each carries the indelible marks of their history, a testament to their shared past. And so the Red Star fell, leaving a legacy that continues to shape our world. As we look back on the rise and fall of communism, what lessons can we draw? From its birth as a radical ideology, through its spread like a domino effect and its eventual fall, communism has left an indelible mark on the world. Debates continue about its principles and implementation, reflecting the complexity of its legacy. Whether viewed as a failed experiment or a yet-to-be-realized ideal, communism undeniably stands as a monumental chapter in the story of human civilization.